Messi sees red, Chelsea plan record transfer, Matters La Liga return, a news roundup, and today's Emoji Mondays all coming up in the next few minutes as I'm your host Matt Froelich. You are the OneFootballers and this is the Daily News. First off, and I'm sure you would have known by now, but Lionel Messi saw a red card in club football for the first time in his career. Over 700 games he went without receiving a red card, which even though he is an attacker, is still pretty good going. But unfortunately, that one came to an end towards the end of extra time last night as Barcelona lost in the Spanish Supercopa final. It was actually a rather enthralling game between them and Athletic Bilbao, and Iñaki Williams' stunning goal at the beginning of extra time gave them a 3-2 victory. Now, there's actually a rather few bizarre storylines surrounding this. I mean, not only did Messi get sent off for whacking a defender, on top of this, Antoine Griezmann had his night overshadowed because he actually scored 2 goals and played a pretty good game. And lastly, the winners of the Spanish Super Cup, which normally is played between the winners of the Copa del Rey and the winners of the league, is won by Bilbao, a team that hasn't even won the Copa del Rey yet. Due to the COVID pandemic, the final between them and arch rivals Real Sociedad was supposed to be played last May, or whenever it was, April, May. It got postponed, then called off, and has never actually been played. I don't even know if they're going to be played it. Like, at the moment, the 1920 Copa del Rey does not have a winner, but the following year's Super Cup does have a winner. It was a 4-game tournament in the end, and like we mentioned, between Sociedad, Real Madrid, Barcelona and Bilbao are the winners. And for those of you that didn't see it, Asier Villalibre, the Athletic Bilbao player who not only got Messi sent off by receiving a punch, but also scored the equaliser, then played trumpet at the end of the game for the winning team, and it was just some glorious scenes. Next up though, and to another massive transfer should it happen. And I know last week, in the last few weeks, we were talking about Haaland joining absolutely everybody. There was rumours that Manchester City wanted him to replace Sergio Aguero. He's been linked with Real Madrid and Barcelona for the longest time, but now the new name is Chelsea. And this report comes from The Athletic, who are usually pretty responsible and accurate when it comes to their football reporting. Anyway, Haaland to Chelsea potentially this summer. Now the reason being is that Haaland has that €75 million release clause, but that only comes into play for next summer, the summer of 2022. So with the likes of Real Madrid, Barca, City, whoever else looking to cash in on him then, Chelsea are willing to steal a march on the competition and just buy him outright this summer, even though they're going to have to negotiate a ridiculous price for the guy who just cannot stop scoring. Since joining last January, Haaland's hit a ridiculous amount of goals, and it's thought that over £95 million is the amount of money that it's going to cost Chelsea to bring him to Stamford Bridge. Last summer we saw them spend over 200 million, so sure, why not? I'm sure Roman Abramovich can dig deep into those pockets of his and find some money to throw at the forward. The thing is, like I mentioned with their spending last summer, what does this mean for the likes of Timo Werner? Well, apparently they could be looking at a 2-man front line, if not Werner on the left-hand side. I don't really think this is going to spell the end for the German, as the likes of him, Hakim Ziyech and Kai Havertz have been bought in for so much money, it's highly unlikely they're just going to throw them away at the end of the season. And that's not even talking about Christian Pulisic as well. In fact, those four will probably be fighting for those 3 spots in the attacking midfield behind the likes of Haaland and Abraham, who will battle it out for the top striking position. Unfortunately for Olivier Giroud, it probably is going to be the end of his time at Chelsea come the summer. Moving on then, and to another player who could be facing the end of a prolonged career at one club, and it's Juan Mata at Manchester United. I'm sure he wouldn't have been too pleased with what he saw yesterday on the pitch, and although it finished 0-0, I actually thought as 0-0s go, it was quite an entertaining game. Certainly, Manchester United had the chances to nick a highly unlikely win, but for both teams, a point isn't so bad. It keeps Liverpool at arm's length for United at the top of the league, and also on top of this, Liverpool aren't exactly too far behind with just 3 points. But Juan Mata could be heading back to former club Valencia. Peter Lim is apparently interested in bringing in the Spanish attacking midfielder because basically he's going to be on a free transfer. With the contract running out at the end of the season, even now they can probably get Manchester United to agree to let him go for absolutely nothing. That really helps the chairman, who's overseeing a torrid time in Valencia's history, with some of the players having been paid up until the beginning of this season. Not exactly a good look, and especially if they're going to bring Mata in, despite the fact he's not going to cost anything. he's definitely going to cost a lot in wages. So yeah, this won't exactly be the best look for a side that could be relegated from La Liga at the end of the season for the first time since 1986. Next up then, in the quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news, where Everton have apparently made a €30 million bid for Sevilla striker Youssef En-Nesyri, although it has been rejected by the Spanish side, and they're working on a brand new deal. Elsewhere, and Spurs aren't fully convinced yet that Dele Alli is going to leave the club in the January transfer window. They're looking at many options involving a deal with PSG. AC Milan are closing in on a 6-month deal for Mario Mandzukic with the option of extending for a further year. And lastly but not least, Bayern talent Joshua Zirkzee, in his quest for first-team football, looks to be moving to Everton on a loan with an option to buy. Next up, in a roundup of your Friday feels, where you guys left your footballing predictions in the comment section underneath Friday's daily news. Akshad Shavan guessed that Liverpool United would draw 0-0. Mans 12 guessed a 1-1 draw between Porto and Benfica near the top of the Portuguese league. And Nico Hell guessed that Arturo Vidal would get on the score sheet for Inter Milan. Finally then, this week's Emoji Mondays. This is where we on OneFootball throw a couple of emojis down over some of the weekend's hottest action. First off, the best player. There were quite a few this weekend, but for me, it's going to Tanguy Ndombele. Now, for those of you who didn't watch the game, it is a midfield masterclass. Brilliant control, brilliant defending as well, and a stunning contender for goal of the season from the French midfielder away at Sheffield United. Next up, and to some African football for the craziest moment, where before the Cameroon versus the Zimbabwe game, the Zimbabwe coach accused Cameroon of some witchcraft as he found a dead bat on the pitch. I have no idea what was going on. As we've said, this is why it gets the crazy moment. But after all of this nonsense before the game, Cameroon went on to win 1-0. Coincident? Potentially. And lastly but not least, the best result of the weekend goes to Sam Allardyce's West Brom. I can't believe I'm saying it, but they managed to win 3-2 at Wolves. A stunning victory for them, but it doesn't exactly clear them of the relegation fight just yet. That's all from me then. Let me know your thoughts below. Check out everything else we've got going on. And until next time, I will see you guys later.